you guys so much for joining us today for this virtual PowerPoint and Zoom training. So how many of you are familiar with Zoom, the Zoom functionalities?
I mean, I know how to get on and all that stuff and start, you know, the basics.
Okay.
Right. And I did a raggedy PowerPoint on Zoom, but you know, that was my first time.
Oh, you did a good job.
So it was raggedy.
Yeah, I'm in the same category with Tasha. I know how to get on, but then when they changed, they upgraded a week or so ago, and I couldn't get on. I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't get on.
Yeah,
it's something.
Well, we're going to do two things today. So the first part of this training is going to be focused on going through all the different features in Zoom. And I'm going to share the screen and then point out what each of these different components are at the bottom. And then we're going to go to PowerPoint, and we're going to do the 23rd numbers of Psalms, and we're going to put it together in a PowerPoint. So I'm going to share with you how I go about looking for different pictures and putting those pictures on a PowerPoint, creating backgrounds with those pictures, and just looking at some of the different features that the PowerPoint already offers that can make the process a lot easier. So those are the two things that we're going to accomplish today. So I'll go ahead and share my screen so that you can see the presentation. And I'm recording this as well. So if you want to go ahead and turn off your video so that you're not in the recording, you can do that, or you're welcome to keep your video on. But I just want to make sure that I make that announcement. Okay. Do you see my screen here?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share this PowerPoint, and we'll start this presentation. So you can see here, oh, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. This is always the fun part on Sunday morning. There we go. So what just happened is I shared my screen, but because I have a dual screen here in my office at home, it was sharing my presentations, the presenter screen, rather than the screen that I want all of you to see. So if you have two screens at home and you're getting ready to present, you want to make sure that do you see this little green button here at the top where it says you are sharing your screen?
Yes.
Okay, that whenever you see that, that's letting you know what screen you're sharing. So you don't want to be talking about one thing and sharing a completely different screen. So you always want to pay attention to where this box is so you know what screen you're sharing. So what I'm going to do is start from left to right and move my way across the bottom of this first slide. Everyone can see the slide clearly?
Yes.
Okay. So that first button is your mute button, okay? The next button is the start video. So this is where you would click to start your video, to stop your video. I'm going to go through it, and then I have one slide for each of these different features. The security feature allows you to lock your meeting. So if you're doing a private one-on-one session and you don't want someone jumping in on your meeting, when Zoom did their upgrade, they created this feature where you can actually click on it and you can lock the meeting so that no one can get into your meeting. And it also allows you to create a waiting room. So if you have—
Wait a minute, so where's the lock,
right.
the lock mute? This one?
Okay, so do you see this screen that I'm sharing where it says Zoom home screen?
Right.
Yes.
So it's the third arrow, right?
Yes, this third arrow is the security screen. And we're actually going to go through each one of these individually.
Okay.
What if you don't have that? I don't have that on my screen.
That is a great question. So if you are the host of the meeting, you will have the security feature.
Oh, okay.
If you are the host, you'll be able to mute everyone. So you often hear people say, can you mute everyone? Because you hear all this background noise. Only the person that's serving as the host of the meeting can mute everyone.
Okay.
Only the host can also do record. So
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
So the people that are not muted when your muting starts, the host can go through and just mute you anyway?
Yes.
Like on
And
Sunday morning during Sunday school, some people don't mute their phone, but the host can just mute them.
That's right.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna,
Okay.
when we get to that screen, you're gonna see there's an option where you don't even have to do it individually. It just says mute all. You click one button and everybody's muted.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So now what I would advise, I just did this for Cleveland, Zoom is free. I would
Right.
suggest that you go to zoom.com and create your own Zoom room. You can do this so that you can communicate with family. You can hold your own personal meetings. It's
Mhm.
completely free for up to 100 participants.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Same
so if
here.
you've
Yeah.
done
Same
that,
here.
you should be able to see a lot of these. Whenever you're the host,
Okay.
you're going to have a lot more flexibility and control
Okay.
over these functions at the bottom. This next one, number 4, the 4th arrow, that's the participants. If you click that, you'll see what happens, and I'll show you in another slide. Then we have the chat button. This green one here in the middle is the share screen button, and everyone always has that functionality if the host has given people permission to share screen. So Marion, as an example, when you were teaching that Sunday, you said, I can't share my screen. The reason why you weren't able to share your screen is because if the host has this functionality disabled, you won't be able to share your screen. So I emailed Ronnie the night before and said, hey, I'm going to be sharing my presentation. Can you make sure that that function on the works?
Okay.
Now, another really cool thing about Zoom is they have this polling feature. And what this is if you want to engage people in discussion, ahead of time, you can create questions. And if you hit polling, you can say, okay, everybody, I want to know, what's your favorite color? And you can have like 3 different colors on there. And people can click that. And you give them like 1 or 2 seconds. When all the polls come in, the results pop up on the screen, and you can say, okay, it looks like everybody likes the color. The majority of people like the color of cream. If you're doing a voting process and it has to be done virtually, you don't have to, you can put this into this polling queue here, and you can have the person's names. No one sees it. It's completely anonymous, but we all get the results at the same time. So that's another really cool feature on Zoom. This next button.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When you do the polling, so the host sees like who's voted, but the participants don't?
The host can't even see who's voting. It's completely anonymous. So the host can control what the questions are, but even the host doesn't see what each individual's answers are. It's really cool.
Now, where is the polling found? I mean, I have share screen, then record, and reactions.
Right. So that's because you're not the host.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So if you have your own Zoom, you would have a lot of these other features.
Okay, got it.
Yes. So now the record button. So I hit record right before we started going into the presentation, not while we were saying our hellos. And you'll notice that a couple weeks ago, or last week when Pastor did Super Tuesday, I just hit the record screen because Chester had me log in under his name. So I was able to hit the record button. Now I'll tell you what I messed up on. I had it so that it showed everybody. You saw multiple people. What I should have done was selected speaker view.
Yeah.
If I had a selected speaker view, it would have only been Pastor Campbell. So that's what I wasn't paying attention. And so that's one of the things you have to pay attention to.
Okay.
I got good feedback on that too, just so you know.
Oh, good.
That people thought that was very helpful.
Good.
Very helpful.
Yeah, very helpful.
Okay, so now this next button here that I'm circling with my cursor, that is the closed caption. That allows you to have the words typed while it'll bring the words up as you're speaking. And then another cool feature is the breakout session. So how would the breakout sessions work? If we were having Vacation Bible School, and we had the men's class, the women's class, and the children's class. Let's say we wanted 3 classes. The breakout feature allows you to to do 3 rooms or however many breakouts you want. And the really cool thing is all you do is click on who you want to go into each room. It is really a really nice feature. So if we ever decided to do Sunday school via Zoom and we wanted to have the women in one class, the men in another class, this functionality allows us to have prayer together. And then after we have prayer together, we would say, okay, you're going to go to your breakout room now. And so then you would go to your breakout rooms. And then when the host wants the meeting to end, she'll say, this meeting is ending. And it'll do a 1-minute countdown. And then everybody comes back. So because we have enough people on here tonight, I will actually demonstrate that when we get towards the end of the Zoom presentation.
Okay.
All right, so now let's go one by one here. So I mentioned the mute button. Can everyone see the screen? You see this yellow arrow?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, when you hit this yellow arrow, it's gonna say, what microphone do you wanna use? What speaker do you wanna use? A lot of times people think I have to jump out of Zoom so that I can get my microphone working or I can get my speaker working. You don't have to do that. If you select this arrow, it's going to give you the option of which microphone you want to use, what camera. You can also test the speaker to see if it's working. So if you're doing a presentation, I would always advise like jumping on maybe 10 minutes before your presentation starts so that you can see if your microphone's working. Now the cool thing about this feature is if you're talking, you're going to see your microphone light up in green. So that lets you know that people can actually hear what you're saying. If you don't see your mic, the light going up and down on the mic, then that means your speaker is not working. Okay? So that's really important. The next button, the start video feature. So you can select this button if you want to stop your video. You can also use this button. You'll see here where this arrow is pointing in the middle where it says choose a virtual background. This allows you to change your background. So let me demonstrate that. I'm going to stop this for a moment. So you see, let's see if I can switch screens here. I'm going to go to my Zoom here. Let me just, all right. So you will now see that I am sharing my screen. You see this, right? So when you go to, let me see if I have to open it up first. Well, I'll just demonstrate it this way. So you see my background right now? When I go to choose a virtual background, watch how my background changes, okay?
I thought she was at home. That's nice.
So this feature
I thought that was your house.
I thought the same thing.
My living room is nice, but it's not that nice. But the cool thing about this is because let's say you're at home and you are getting ready to present, and the only thing you have behind you is
something else is in your background now too.
Yeah, all you have is like a walk. There's Cleveland.
He's part of your virtual background.
So let's say all the Cleveland. I'm being recorded. There's a background behind you, and it's just a wall, and you want like something to spice it up to make you look like you have more space behind you. You can download all kinds of pictures and then add them when you select choose your virtual background. So that is a really cool feature. And there are already some backgrounds in there that you can use as well.
Okay.
Now, I've had a problem with that, Stephanie. I tried to download some backgrounds that were already on the computer. They didn't work. Then I had some pictures that I had imported, and I had like the 7 bridges of Italy and all that. And when I tried to download it, I kind of faded all off into the picture and the, you know, was
That
black
happens
and
with me
doing all
too.
kind of
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then it said I needed a green screen.
Yes.
Right.
And because I don't have that.
So it will say like, what year is your computer? It'll ask you that. So I
Right.
have a green screen.
Right. See, I don't.
So and they're
That's the
actually
green
really,
screen. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're really inexpensive. I got
That's
it
what
on
I've heard.
Amazon. The really
Yeah.
cool thing about this is, let me see if I can. It's like a projector. You just
Right.
pull it
Okay.
up
Right.
before your meeting. You pull it down, and I can just slide it under towards the back of the wall when I'm not.
Right.
So that's the really cool thing. So
Okay.
That's what they mean when they say green screen.
Green
that's
screen,
what they
that's
mean when
it.
they say
Okay.
Yeah.
green screen.
That's
So
why
there's
ours doesn't work, Sandra.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like I said, they're really inexpensive. You can go to Amazon. I ordered mine on Amazon, and
Right.
it comes really fast, and it works very nicely for
Okay.
meetings. And I'm on meetings all day, so I need all the help I can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say, you know, save all these receipts and take these off as part of your
Tax
business,
write-offs.
your tax
Yeah.
write-off,
Yeah.
because you have to
Absolutely.
upgrade.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's something to think about. It's worth the investment, especially since so many things are moving towards
Exactly.
Zoom and virtual learning.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about Zoom too, so let's say like someone just asked me to create a video for this event I have to speak at. I don't have to do it on my phone. I can do it on Zoom because
Right.
I have the virtual background, and all I have to do is go into Zoom and hit record and do my presentation. It will save it and download it to my computer as a video, and all I have to do is email it. It's that
Wow.
it is that easy.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good.
So that's another way that you can use Zoom for your own personal needs and not just when you're trying to have a meeting. And let's say you have to teach a lesson, but you want to email it to folks and it's not going to be live. Zoom is a great platform to do that too. If you have to preach, I see you on, you want to do a sermon and then download it and send it out to people. This is a great way to keep everything clean and send it out that way. All right. So the next one, oh, I didn't even realize I had it on here, but so this is that virtual background that I was talking about. You see this little this plus sign here?
Plus sign, okay.
That's where you add your pictures.
Right.
Also, click this green button. It says manually pick the color of the background if detected. So because I have a green screen, when I hit this button, it automatically picks up on the green, and then I'm able to change my background however I want.
Right.
So that is a really cool feature. Cleveland uses this often since he's had to do some of these preaching engagements virtually. So you'll see this church right here. He uses that a lot for his background. So it's nice that you can kind of be as creative as you want with this. So far, so good, everybody?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Great job.
Okay, so now this button here at the bottom where it says participants. So this is really cool. If you look up here, after you hit the button, this white box pops up. Now the cool thing about this button here is if I wanted to change my name to Cleveland, because he was using the computer, he would just click this rename button. He could put his name in here, and sometimes people don't have, they don't want to show their video. You can hit this button and actually upload a picture of yourself. So you'll see that I have this picture that I use when
That's what I was,
That's where you change the picture. That's where you rename or change your name. Okay? So find a nice picture, automatically put that in so that you have it available, especially on Sundays. I know sometimes I don't want my video on, and I can use whatever picture I feel like for that day. All right?
I like that. So that's participants.
That's participants.
Okay.
Okay, so the next feature is the share screen feature, okay? So we talked about how when you're sharing the screen, you see this green button. You're gonna hit the button. Now what happens is when you hit the share screen button, it's gonna show everything that you have open on your desktop right now. So what you want to do is select the document that you want to share. When you see the blue around it, that lets you know that you've actually selected the presentation or whatever you want to share with people. So that is really important. That's how you select what you want to use. Now there's another feature that people don't often talk about. Let's say we were having a board meeting or a brainstorming session. There's actually a whiteboard. We share screen. You can actually share a whiteboard, and everyone, they have like crayons and markers, and you can type. And this allows you to have a brainstorming session virtually so that everyone can participate and add things to the whiteboard. So you would just share that, and then the whole thing would become white, and you would just go about your brainstorming session as if you would if you were in a classroom somewhere.
Right.
After you've selected what you want to share, then this blue button down here, you want to make sure you hit that because that's where it says share. Okay? The last thing I want to show you is when that participant button is open. Sandra, you have this question. When the participant box is open, all the way down here at the end, it says mute all. And you just click that and everyone's muted, including people that are on their phone and not on computers.
Okay.
Now, if you only want to mute someone individually, where the microphone is, you would just click that and that would mute people individually. Now, another thing is, if you want to turn on someone's video, you actually have the power to turn their video on, which I don't advise you do because we just never know what kind of situations are going on.
That's true.
Wow.
But you can actually do that if, when you are the host.
Wow, I just lost my video.
Oh no.
Yeah, I gotta come back on.
Okay.
This is crazy. Okay.
We still see you though.
Yeah, we see you.
I don't know what happened. It just went away.
Mine did too, but it came back in quickly.
Well, mine isn't back in. Now I'm on the church website.
We see you.
Just close it. Just close that screen down and it should.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
So here's another cool thing that Zoom just implemented when they did their.
Oh no.
Can you see?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll catch up.
Okay. At the very bottom, when you're the host, and depending on what package you have, you can actually live stream from Zoom. You can do Facebook Live from Zoom. You can do YouTube from Zoom. So they have this really nice feature now where you can tell folks, okay, let's go to Zoom if you want to, or you can go to the church's website and we're gonna have the Bible study showing, Sunday school will be showing on Facebook as well. So this is a cool thing. You don't have to now have multiple platforms. One document open for YouTube, another screen open for Facebook. You can actually do it all in the same place now. So that little button where it says more is how you would go about doing that. Now, I did not go over this one here in the middle where it says reactions, but the reactions button allows you to clap if someone does a good job.
Oh, yeah.
You can also give a thumbs up if you like what they're saying. And so that's a really cool feature. So that's the end of the presentation for Zoom. Are there any questions?
No, I'm glad you recorded it so we can go back over it. And you're gonna post it on the church website, or?
I will send it to Sandra and ask her, since she's on here, I'll send it to her and see if she's able to send that out to everyone.
To send it out, same way I did Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
To just the participants, or you want me to send to everybody? Just the people on?
Everyone, if you want.
Everybody, okay.
So now the next part, we're going to have a little bit of fun. And that fun includes, we are going to do a real PowerPoint, starting with a blank screen. So let me share my PowerPoint slide here. We're going to do the 23rd numbers of Psalms. Okay? So all you see right now is a completely blank screen. So there's two things that you can do here. You can go to new, so file, then you go to new from template. If you select new from template, this is going to open up. And what this is, they're already pre-populated templates that you can use. So if you're a starter, it's your first time kind of doing Zoom, this is what I would recommend to starting off with. So let's say I select or go here and I say, oh, I kind of want an oceans background. Let's see what kind of ocean or nature backgrounds they have in here. So let's say, since pink is my favorite color, so I've selected pink. So now it's going to open up and it's going to have like all these different types of layouts that are available. So obviously you don't need all of them, but you kind of go through and say, this is the kind of slide that I want to do.
Stephany?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interject.
Sure.
Are you demonstrating this as you're talking? Because all I see is a white screen that says, I just see a white slide. Are you doing something else?
Yes. No. Does anyone else see the, what do you all see?
Now I see
I had
you,
just
but
saw just where it was the blank screen also.
Your slide screen.
There you
that's
go.
all
Now
I
we
see.
There
see
you
it.
go.
Now we
now
got
we
it.
see
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
that's what.
That.
Now, what did you do?
Yes.
So you went to,
over.
okay.
So you go to new. So this is what we have, right? This blank screen.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I'm going to go to new presentation, or actually new from template. Everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
And so this allows you to just use a template that's already in place.
Yeah.
You don't have to create and make it pretty. It's already there. So up here in this search box, you can put in nature, you can put in gardens, I don't know, anything you want. And this is going to just put different types of backgrounds available. So Sister Marion, I'll use you as an example. You said that you had your screen and you're like, oh, I have the content, but I want to make it pretty. So what you could do is just go here to new, do a new template and select whatever background you wanted. So I'm selecting this one. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I can just start working on a template that's already there. Okay?
Right.
That is the easiest way to go, and it saves you a lot of time. So the first thing you want to do when you start thinking about putting a PowerPoint slide together is you want to make sure you have all of your content. So you'll see here, a lot of times what I do for Sunday school is I'll study, I'll do my lesson, I'll type my notes up, and then it's already in a Word document. So so then after I have my Word document created,
you can cut
I just open that up and I cut and paste however I want. Okay? So I would just type in here 23rd or Psalms 23. And I would just, down here, I put my title by Stephany Prince, right? There goes my title page. Now the title screen is always important because, for example, when we're doing Sunday school, people are coming on late, or you want to welcome everyone as you're starting your video, your presentation. You always want to have a title screen that gives you an opportunity to speak and introduce the subject matter before you actually dive in. So it's really nice to have that, okay? So then we have these other screens here. So I've already printed out the scripture, the 23rd numbers of Psalm, and I have PowerPoint pictures that I've gone in to look for on the internet. So let me show you how to do that. So if, let's say you're trying to figure out what picture should I use when I put my presentation together. So I knew that I would be doing the 23rd numbers of Psalms. So what I did was I went to Google and I typed in shepherd, right? And I went to images. So then, oh, sorry, not that one. Can you guys see that? See what I'm doing?
No, you're just on the Google search bar.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
Okay. Every time I share a different screen, it pops off.
There we are.
Okay,
We got
so
it.
I typed in, "The Lord is my shepherd." So
Mhm.
this gives me all kind of cool backgrounds. So I decided that I want to use this background for my presentation of "The Lord is my shepherd." So I right click on here, this opens up, and then I save the image to my computer. Everybody see that?
Mhm.
So I right click with my mouse and it opens up this box and I do save image. Okay. And that's how, and so I just go through my lesson. So with our Sunday school, we typically have like 3 or 4 outlines. I look at the title and I try to say, what picture would best represent this title? And then that's when I go through Google and I start looking for pictures. And then what I do is, can everybody see this screen here?
Yes.
Then what I do is I have I download a new folder and I just save all the pictures that I want to use for the 23rd numbers of Psalms, which is what we're going to do today. And then that's how I start the presentation. Or start developing the presentation. Okay? So I'm going to get out of here because we already have our pictures saved. So now let's do the PowerPoint. This is the fun part. All right, so I'm gonna do, can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do new presentation. And can you see this screen now? It's blank?
Yes.
All right, so what I decided I want to do, I told you that I already have the pictures. So I'm just gonna walk through this and then you'll see what happens. Uh-oh, I double clicked. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. This thing is so sensitive. If you double click, it goes crazy. All right, let's do this again. Okay, now can you see?
We just see a blank screen.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go to insert picture from file. And I'm going to go to the file that I already have created that said pictures for the PowerPoint. And I'm going to use this picture right here as my screen.
Okay.
You see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So then this becomes my title page. Now here's something that's really cool. If you go up here to this box where it says design, everybody see that?
Yes.
I click on this. Now look over here to the far right. You see where it says design ideas? Okay, watch this. When I click this, it opens up all the different ways that I can do my title screen.
Right.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
Yeah.
So let's say I want to do this one. No, that's ugly. Let's do this one. All right. So there's my, I don't like that one either. This happens a lot.
I like that one.
Oh, I like
let's
that
go
one.
with this one. So
This is
now
what I use for the birthday slides and the graduation slide. I got to design ideas.
Yeah, you kind of go back and forth until
Right.
you find something that
Exactly.
works. So now I'm going to select a text box. And once I have a text box selected, I'm going to go in here and put in whatever I want the title to be. So we're going to do Psalm 23 presentation by, and I put my name in there, and I can do whatever formatting I want One thing you want to remember if you're doing PowerPoint, you at least want to have it at 28 font.
Right.
And sometimes people have these little tiny PowerPoints. You can't hardly read anything. It's because they've chosen the wrong font. So you can actually make it as big as you want. You can change it up however you want. And because the background is yellow, I'm going to just keep it black. But if I wanted to change the color to something else, I would just go here and change it to whatever works. All right, so now the first slide, our introductory slide is done. Now I'm gonna hit new slide.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Is there a way to get back in the corner where Lord, the L and the S and the T are kind of cut off?
No, not because the way
you chose that.
Because you chose it.
But I can always pick a different one. If I go back to design ideas, I can always pick something else. Like this looks nice.
That's nice.
This one looks good. And so I can do that, and that actually works better. And I'm going to try not to be a perfectionist right now, but I like for things to line up beautifully. So I can go back and forth. So now, here's a cool feature. If you right click on over here in the panel, if you right click, it's going to give you an option to do a new slide, to duplicate the slide, or to delete a slide. So I'm going to duplicate the slide so that I don't have to do it all over again. And this time, I'm going to go to the design, and I'm just going to select a different layout. That'll make my second slide different. Or what I can do is I can delete this slide and do a new slide, and it's blank. Now, here's the benefit of doing it blank, because the first part we're going to do is, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So that deals with shepherd. I have a picture already selected that I will use for shepherd. Do you guys still see the PowerPoint slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
The blank.
Yes. So I'm going to insert from here, and I'm going to select shepherd for verse number 1. Insert. So now we have this nice picture of a shepherd
with the sheep.
And to make it nice, let's say we do something like this. And then I'm going to insert a text box. And because I've already selected the text, verse number 1, I'll just go and grab it, bring it back over here. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And I'm going to make it larger so that people can read it. And this would be my first slide. Okay, so I have the picture, and that's all done. And then I always kind of go back to the design ideas again, because it may have other suggestions. See, look at this. Beautiful is that?
Oh, yes.
A lot of times people think you're actually having to create this. PowerPoint is actually doing the ideas for you.
Oh, yeah.
So question.
Sure.
When you create each slide, you don't have to go into home and do a save?
No.
I mean, it's saving it as we're doing it?
It's
so I don't lose it at some point if I do something silly?
Yes. So I'm glad you said that. Yes.
Yeah.
So you should turn on your autosave. My autosave is on right now, but you can do autosave. And I would just like save this as Psalms 23.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I do.
And then I have I'm doing it for the Zoom training. That way I know exactly where it is. And every now and then you can hit Control S as you're going through. Just hit Control S and it'll save it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, so there's my first slide. Next slide. So I'm going to do a new slide. And so we're doing verse number 2. And we're just going to do a couple of the verses now. Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. So we're doing, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. So let me see, what pictures do I have for verse number 3?
Pastures.
verse number 3. Okay, so it looks like I'm using this. He restoreth my soul. So
Where did you get that, Stephany?
this picture?
Yeah, did you have that already in your picture folder?
Yes. So
okay.
I was saying that before you even start putting slides together, it's just nice when you have all your pictures saved in one place, so you don't have to go here and then go to Google and come back.
Right.
This allows you to just have a really nice flow.
Okay, cool.
So on here, I'm going to add my text box again so that I can put in the text of the verse. And we're going to do verse 2 and 3 just to move this along a little bit faster. And so then what I'm going to do is go to home, make sure I increase it so that people can actually read it. Now you'll notice sometimes it goes off the screen. So you just want to make sure that you fix that so that nothing goes off the screen. All right. Otherwise, you can be talking and they're like, wait, we don't see it.
Where is it? We don't see that.
Right. Now, you'll notice I often underline keywords. Those keywords also help me when I'm thinking of what pictures I should look for. So read through your lesson and do that. So now I'm going to go to design. I'm going to go to design ideas again, and let's see what they come up with. So that's kind of cool. And so I would just make this larger so that it looks nice. I don't like this font, but sorry, this is the perfectionist in me coming out. So it is kind of time consuming because you have to really think about what it is that you want to do and how you want to present your information. And so there we go. So you kind of get the picture. Let's do one more verse and then I'll open it up for questions. So we're going to do verse number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and add that text here. I'm going to insert another picture. And let's do something different this time. Let's say this time I want the whole background to be a picture. And then I want to put the text on top of the picture.
Right.
So verse number 4 talks about, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. So let's say I'm using this picture as the background. What I would then do is I would get a text box and I'm going to put the text box inside. I'm going to put the text in here. And because it's dark, I'm going to change it to white so that people can actually read it. I'm going to make it larger. Center it. And there we go. Now, if you still can't see it, you can right click and go to format shape. What that will do is open up a box, and over here I can actually fill this text box with a solid color and make it as transparent as I want. So if I want it so that you can see through it, I can do that. Or the more I change this, the darker the background becomes. Okay. So I want to change it so that I can still see the shadow of death. So I would do something like probably gray, right? Or maybe even black. And then I would do this so that it centers it.
In the middle, right.
And then what I'm going to do is just open it up just enough so that it's still dark enough, but you see what the wording is on there.
Right.
All right, everybody see that?
Yes.
Now, if you don't like that, what can we do? We can go to design. We can go all the way over to design ideas, and we can see what they've come up with. They have all kind of different options. All right. So now that this is done, like I said, we're only going to do a couple of verses. I'm going to just make this larger. You can make it as large as you want. So now that your PowerPoint is done, what you do is you're going to go to slideshow. Okay. So a lot of times people will, you can rehearse it, you can pre-record the timing. I never do because things never work out the way we
Right.
So I never do any timing on my presentation, but those options are available. Now, another cool thing is, let's say I want to show a video. I would insert this, I would insert new slide, and you see here in the middle, this option right here, it looks like a film.
Yes.
I click this, and it automatically opens up. Let's see if I think I have a video on here that I can show.
Okay, so the video would already be on your hard drive, right?
Yes, I would have
Okay.
just saved it from, I think when I did on Easter Sunday, I think this video was, yeah, it's right here. So the video, go ahead.
Is the video on your desktop?
It's on my desktop.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, or like I said, you can always.
You can go to file.
In a specific file.
File, okay.
I was going to do this training today, I just put everything in one place. And you can do that when you're starting your videos too. Just put everything in one place.
Right.
And so you can do that. So you click that button, it adds the video. Now, this is what you then do. I want to make sure that it can be the whole screen when I show the video. I just make it larger. All right. So now I'm going to save. Our PowerPoint is ready to go. I'm going to go back here, go to slideshow. I'm going to hit start. And now our presentation begins. Everybody,
this is the fun. This is the fun part.
This is the fun part. So there's my beautiful background. The PowerPoint put this all together for me. I didn't have to try to figure out how to cut off stuff. It did it for me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. If I wanted to open up for questions, I would have just inserted a slide that said questions. So what I like to do when I'm teaching is I always go through the lesson. I'll have the scriptures that relate to whatever that current outline is. And then I'll put up a question from the book, and then I'll put that on the screen for the discussion. So for me, the PowerPoint just kind of helps to keep me on track to make sure I get through all of the lessons before the time runs out. And when you have it on the screen, you know that you're going to give a couple of people an opportunity to speak, and then I can move on to the next slide.
You know, Stephany, I was going to say, when I first, way back in the olden days, when I first learned PowerPoint, I was told, too, that we have to be careful about putting too many words on one slide. And I have a real problem with that. But it's true, you know, because you need to give people a chance to digest your ideas. So they instructed me to just kind of streamline as much as possible.
Yes,
less
is more. Less is more. So I always, like I said before, I always type my notes out.
Right.
And then the information that I put on the screen may be key points, or I may share the actual scripture. And it's nice too when you put the scripture on the screen, because then you can say, okay, can I get a reader? You don't have to worry about the translations that they're using.
Exactly.
Straight from the screen. And it helps people engage. So there's this beautiful picture. We know we're talking about He restores my soul. And then it goes to the next one. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. See how beautiful it kind of flows in, and it takes you to
I like that.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, here's the video.
The video. Yay.
What's up, everybody? This is Anthony Brown.
Look at that. Nice and easy.
And I'm so excited to debut for you.
Right?
Yes.
So the video is already on the PowerPoint.
Okay.
All right. I'll stop that.
Great.
Okay, so that is how we put a beautiful PowerPoint together.
Yes.
Wow, that was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Stephany, were you controlling the timing on that in terms of how quickly the slides were shown, or was that just an automatic thing?
I was just hitting the down button on my computer screen.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
on my keyboard.
Okay. Is there a way for it automatically to go, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do it. You can right
I
here
can't hear you.
when you're setting up your show, where it says record slideshow, you just click that, and then you would go through and record your show, however you want it to go. Can you guys see?
Yeah, Tasha, what happened to your? We don't see you.
I stopped the video for a minute.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So you can record your PowerPoint ahead of time. Especially if you're doing like Sunday school or something where you're interacting with a lot of people, it's hard to do that because your PowerPoint can be going and then you're trying to keep up with that, and then it kind of messes up the flow of conversation. Are there any other questions?
Oh, that's really
I'm gonna go ahead and
That was good. Yeah.
stop the
Thank
recording.
you.